Chris Sample for the prosecution. May it please the court. Your Honor, opposing counsel, members of the jury, without Whit Bowman, in the summer of 2012, two people worked together to steal money from an amusement park named Rockville. One was Cameron Poole, he worked in the ticket booth. The other was the accomplice, the defendant, Whit Bowman. While the accomplice provided fake versions of the park's VIP admission wristbands, Cameron Poole then sold those wristbands, but recording it as a general admission sale, pocketing the difference. This took place throughout the entire summer until they were caught. One crime led to another. On August 30th, 2012, the defendant and her friend, they staged a robbery. She gave her friend a knife, instructed him to teach their boss a lesson. And as instructed, Cameron Poole then robbed the amusement park. But Whit Bowman, the defendant, you'll learn that her actions, her involvement, did not end there. She positioned herself at a ride known as the Tunnel of Terror. And when her friend was being chased by security into that ride, she turned off the lights, but she kept the ride moving. Her friend, he ran through that ride, he escaped, and the security guard, Winston Thomas, he was hit by that ride. He was taken to the hospital, and that night, he died. Members of the jury, without Whit Bowman, Winston Thomas would still be alive with us today. Without the defendant, Cameron Poole would not have been able to escape Rockville. Today, Ms. Bowman is faced with 3 charges: theft by deception, robbery in the first degree, and murder. Now, while Ms. Bowman was not the one who was physically committing these crimes, the law says that an accomplice can be held just as responsible for a crime through something known as complicity. Complicity means that you intentionally aid another person in committing a crime. This means for theft by deception, we have to show you that Ms. Bowman helped Cameron Poole in stealing at least $500 by lying or by other means of false impression. For robbery in the first degree, we have to show you that Ms. Bowman helped Cameron Poole in robbing the amusement park on August 30th, 2012. Attached to that robbery charge is 1 count of murder. Now, in the state of Midlands, if during a robbery you cause the death of another individual, the law says that you can be held responsible for not only that robbery, but for that person's death. We, the prosecution, we have what is known as the burden of proof. This means that we have to prove to you beyond a reasonable doubt all 3 of these charges. Beyond a reasonable doubt, that does not mean beyond all doubt. It is a doubt that is merely based on your common sense and reason. It is a doubt based on a fair and rational consideration of the facts that you will hear in today's trial. We, the prosecution, we ask that you keep one question in mind as you hear each witness testify today. How did Cameron Poole have the means to commit these crimes? We, the prosecution, will call 3 witnesses to enable you to answer that question for yourself. First, we will call the park's owner, J.C. Longstreet. Mr. Longstreet, he will tell you about the amount of money that was lost because of the theft scheme that the defendant and her friend were doing. He will tell you that before August 30th, the defendant was banned from operating the Tunnel of Terror. But on the day of the robbery, she was operating that route. Second, we'll call before you the park's mascot, Mr. Roy Shelton. Mr. Shelton, he will tell you about the conversations that the defendant was having with Cameron Poole. He'll tell you that on the day of the robbery, he saw the defendant give Cameron Poole a knife, heard her say, "Teach our boss a lesson, and your window is small, you need to be quick." Lastly, we'll call before you Miss Tyler Hartman. Ms. Hartman is a frequent customer at Rockville who was on the ride called the Tunnel of Terror when Cameron Poole was escaping. She will tell you that when Cameron Poole was running through that tunnel, Ms. Bowman, she did not stop that ride until Cameron Poole escaped, only after Winston Thomas was hit. At the end of today's trial, my co-counsel, Mr. Terrence Green, he'll show you that without Whit Bowman, there is no crime. Unless you find Ms. Bowman guilty of all three charges. Thank you.